Hey guys, what's up? Professor Andre here, and today we're going to talk about take control of your life immediately. Promises, goals, and habits. So guys, there is a very famous phrase by Aristotle that we are what we repeatedly do. Then excellence is not an act, but a habit. And this phrase describes really well what is the key thing to achieving excellence. But before we get that, I want to come a little bit back. We're going to start talking about promises, then goals, and then we're going to get to habits. So first, promises. It's really important to stress that promises need to be kept. Every time you make someone a promise, you need to keep that promise, whoever it is you make, because people will have a view of you depending on how you keep your promises. This is really important. But most important than keeping your promises with other people, and we're going to talk more about this in other episodes, but the most important thing is that you keep your promises to yourself. And a lot of times this is the hardest. And I always recommend like my guys to start with small promises, but make sure every single promise you make to yourself, you keep it. Why I say that sometimes the hardest is to keep promises to yourself, because when you make a promise to yourself, first, you don't have any sort of accountability system that's going to be there, watch you and criticize you if you don't keep it. Second, when you are in the middle of the storm of a promise that you made to yourself, it's so easy to use your own mind to convince you that you don't have to do that promise that you made to yourself. And that brings a lot of problems, because once you cannot, or you convince yourself to not keep a promise that you made to yourself, you start losing motivation and you start losing trust on yourself to be able to accomplish anything you set yourself out to be. So I'm going to give you guys a quick example. So today, as a matter of fact, right now, I'm doing a 24-hour fasting. Man, I've been wanting to do this for a long time. I looked up and I thought it was going to be something interesting for me to do. There's a ton of benefits for the body, but everything can be argued nowadays, right, in regards to science. But one of the things that I will see this 24 hours fasting through is because I made that promise to myself. It could be a small promise. This is a small promise. It's something that I only have to hold it for 24 hours. You can start with a 1 hour promise or one task promise. But I know that I'm going to see it through. I know I'm going to stay 24 hours fasting. Because when I make a promise to myself, I have to keep it. Because that is how we win everything. We start winning on the small victories, the small personal victories. And by building momentum with the small victories, you start being able to set yourself up for bigger victories and for public victories. So when I make a decision, when I make a promise to myself that I will do something, I make sure I keep my word to myself and I don't allow me to create any other distraction or convince myself, trick myself that I don't have to do. So back to the fasting example, I could get home for lunch now and say, man, you already do so much exercise. You don't really need to fast. You already fasted for 12, 16 hours. Why go 24? It's not really that good for your health. You remember all the other stuff that you read about it, criticizing, there is this and this. Yeah, you're right. I think I'm going to eat maybe a healthy salad. And then the healthy salad turns into a steak, and then it turns into something else. Like again, I'm not getting into the diet part of it. I'm getting into the promise part of it. Like it's very easy for me to convince myself not to follow through with my promise. But I know that if I can't hold a promise to myself, I'm not going to be able to set up to the next challenge. What is the next challenge? The next challenge is setting up goals for yourself. Now, this is how you start small, making small promises, and then building up is how we take control of our life immediately. We cannot allow our lives to go by just on how sometimes the media, how sometimes our friends, our family, our work, our bosses dictate. We have to own our life and take control immediately. First step is by making small promises to yourself and keeping those small promises. Second step is by setting up goals for yourself. Goals are different than promises in a way that goals are typically longer, more broad versions of promises. It's something that you aspire to achieve. There's no rules of how to set up goals. You can set up a quarterly goal, 6 months, 1 year. Typically for myself, I try to set yearly goals. Every beginning of the year, I set up a goal. If you don't have any goals for 2020, set up goals now. There's no problem. There's no specific rule. But first, you start by making little promises and following through with those promises. Whatever it is, either maybe it's losing weight. What is it that you're going to eat tonight? And then you go there and you eat it. Maybe is waking up. What time are you going to waking up? Go next morning, wake up. Make sure you do something, a promise that you can achieve within 24 hours, because that's going to build momentum. And then you're going to trace goals for yourself. Now, once you have goals, you have a clear vision where you want to be on a specific certain time. So by the end of 2020, what do I want to achieve? Where I want to be? Now, in the process of achieving your goals, you will need to develop habits. And habits, right there, that is the key to excellence. Because in order to achieve your goals, you will need to build, if you have worthwhile goals, you will need to build effective habits to achieve that. By changing habits. Habits are what make you who you are. You are right now, this person watching this video, you are the collectiveness of all the choices that you made up until this moment. Now, what you do now is not going to change the choice you made an hour ago or a year ago, but it's going to reflect the person you are going to be once you are a couple of days, weeks, hours, months after you made that choice. So you can make a choice now to wake up early, go for a run, come train. You can make a choice to work harder, to put in more hours, to be a more loving father and husband, to be a more committed to your friends, to dial down on things that you know are not good for you. Building habits, effective habits, is what's going to build who you are, because you are the collective of all the decisions that you made so far. So if you are rich right now, it's because you had a collective of your decisions made you achieve that spot. Of course, there are exceptions to the rule. You can have just won the lottery, but 90%, 99% of the cases is because you're sitting where you are because of the collectiveness of your decisions. So whatever you are in life is because of the decisions that you made. If you want to change, and all of us human beings are always looking to improve or looking to become better or looking to positive change. So if you are a human being and then you're looking to improve, you need to, in order for you to improve, you need to change. In order for you to change in a way that's going to allow you to have more fulfilling, happy, and improving and growth and growing in your life, you will need to adopt habits that are going to allow you to get there. So, in a very simple way, if you want to have more knowledge, you're going to probably have to read more. That's what I think. Maybe some people think differently. Maybe people think that you're gonna have a lot of culture by watching Netflix series, which I also love. But I believe that the best way for you to develop and to grow intellectually is by reading. So how many pages a day are you reading? Do you have the habit of reading? How do you want to develop intellectually if you're not going to add reading hours to your life? Same thing with health. Do you want to live a healthier life? Great, awesome. Everyone wants to live a healthy life. What are you doing? How many hours of training are you putting in? How many? What's the diet that you're doing? We need to always look into ourselves and see who we are right now. Who we are right now is the collective and all the decisions that we made. Who we want to become. If we want to become something better, we need to make sure that we're going to change the decision that we just got to the spot. If we keep making the same decisions, we're going to keep being the same person. To own your life, to take control of your life, you will need to improve your habits, because that is what's going to build you up to achieve what you want to achieve. So guys, awesome. I hope this finds you well. Make small promises, keep them to yourself, most important. Set up goals for yourself. After you do step number 1, set up goals for yourself. Once you have a clear path, a clear vision where you want to be, build habits that are going to allow the change that is needed in order for you to achieve what you want to achieve. I hope this message finds you well. I'll talk to you guys soon.